It's the lemon trees, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. I'm currently the main one.
The main one. You are that of
Yeah.
the lemon tree.
Yeah. Like, are we live now? Do I start talking now?
Yeah. You can start talking. We're
Okay, cool.
live now. I was able to
Um,
jump us on. Um, so
so basically, the lemon trees. It um, it started back in where are we in 2021? It started back in 2019, the year I graduated high school, and here in San Antonio we had a scene of music where everyone just cared and loved for each other. Eventually, it died out because of certain situations, but um, after high school, there was this one band called Junkie, and they're really big here in San Antonio. Well, they were, and my friend and I went to a show, and when we were there, we both looked at each other and we were just like, "Dude, we gotta start something like this," because we both had a passion for music at the time. And so one night, we were just chilling in his truck in the clouds, and we were like, "Dude, let's just start a band." And so we did, and we were thinking of names to come up with like for the band, and we saw a street name called the Surf Rider. And I looked at him. I'm like, dude, let's be the Surf Riders. And so we started comparing the names to like other band names to see how it fit on like a flyer. And it only lasted about a good 2 minutes. And then he started for some reason he started talking about his grandma's lemon tree, and my grandma had a lemon tree when she was alive, and for at least a good minute it was quiet, and then we both looked at each other, and we're just like the lemon trees. And so ever since then, that's how the name the lemon trees came about.
that's pretty rad. So you guys were at a
Also,
show on
what's
the.
up?
You guys were at a show with the
Yeah,
junkies, and you were like, "It's time for us to make music."
yeah,
And then you went on the journey in 2019. Um,
yep.
so what is your role? What do you guys like? Both play instruments? Do you play them all, or?
Uh, so basically, it was just me and him, and then he left to pursue other things like school and stuff. So I wasn't mad about it. I was cool. I'm still his friend and all. Um, and then eventually another friend came in, helped me out, and then she left, and so it was just me for the bit. And then I had a friend named Isaiah, and he was here for a bit, and then he left, and so now it's just me. Basically, I like to think of like the Lemon Trees group as like me and a friend project. It's not just me; it's other people who want to join, just jam, and we just go as the Lemon Trees. That's basically how it is. Me, I produce everything just on GarageBand. It's not nothing too big, nothing too complicated. Um, there's two songs where I don't sing. It's my other friend that came in, and I sing, play guitar, bass, sometimes drums. I finally found a way to connect the drums connect to my computer, and so that's what I basically do.
Rad. Okay. Yeah. My first album was State of the Sea. I was in GarageBand, so it's surprisingly useful for something that everyone
Yeah,
has, and like you can definitely put
yeah.
out
I see a
quality
lot of
stuff.
people like kind of bashing GarageBand to like use, but I think it's a good way to start it, so you can get like a good momentum on, I guess, producing and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can throw whatever plugins you want. It's essentially like the same interface as Logic, so it's like
Yeah,
just keep running
yeah.
with it. Um, yeah, I noticed that there was a female voice on two songs. So like your
Yeah.
most
That's
recent album,
Aaliyah. Yeah.
and then
That's
your
my friend
first.
Aaliyah. She came in. She was the second one to join after the first one left. His name's Chris, and she has an amazing voice. And I've known her since high school, and we did like talent shows together and stuff. And I knew I had to get her in one of these projects, and eventually she agreed. And I think both of those songs are one of the top five streaming on Spotify.
Oh, really with
If I'm
you?
not. Yeah.
So you gotta convince her to do a whole album now to get the
Yeah. Yeah.
get the ball rolling. Um, so your first album was more there was less synth. I listened to both of your albums today, and then just to be prepared. And so the first one was less synth and more like garage rock, and then the second one had more synth. Are you
Yeah.
are you just experiencing more things and like learning more ways to get sounds in GarageBand, or?
Um. Give me 1 second. I gotta let the dog out real
Yeah,
quick.
no problem.
So basically, the first album, Teenage Romance, um, the band Junkie that we saw, I'm friends with them, and the bassist decided like he wanted to help me out, so I can get something out there, and so he helped me out with most of the songs on there. And when he sent me like the demos, I was like, you know what, I want to make like a rock story, or like I guess a rock opera, like Green Day's American Idiot. And so at the time, I was going through a breakup, and so I kind of used that as like a motivation to write and create the characters and the songs and stuff like that, the story. And so basically from beginning to end, it tells the story from the breakup to getting over it to realizing like love is just something that comes and goes, and but you could always have it no matter what. And just like day and night, it always comes and goes, but you're still gonna have it. So that's why the last song, "The Night Was Made for Loving," it connects to each other.
Oh, nice. So that's on your latest album, right?
That's the first one,
The
Teenage
first one,
Romance.
Teenage Romance, yeah. And
Yeah.
then
And then the second one, I just dropped it, I believe Friday. It's called Hopeless Romance. It's like a second one to the story, I guess. It doesn't really have a big meaning, but it's just something I wanted to throw out there, experiment on, because I finally bought one of those little MPK keyboards, and I want to add synth to it so it can sound more like, I guess like poppy mixed in with garage rock. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And so I threw it on there. That one actually, this whole album took a whole probably year, no, half a year to make. The first one was probably about a month because I had the motivation and stuff. And so this one, I wanted to take my time, experiment a little more, get better at stuff. And when I did, I finally put it out.
Okay, yeah. So that first one you were motivated, trying to learn your ways, and then
Mm-hmm.
this second album that you're putting out, what was different about your process that took you a year longer? You said you wanted to learn more, or
Yeah, I guess I wanted to learn more. I believe on this one, besides the one with the Leah, I did all of them by myself. And so the last album, I had Daniel from Junkie helping me out, sending me demos, showing me some parts and stuff. This one, it was just full on me. And so I guess I had like the weight on my shoulders to create a new album by myself for the first time. And so that's kind of what, not, it wasn't holding me back, it was like challenging me to
yeah,
create something new.
yeah, certainly without other people, it's kind of like everything has to
Yeah.
be on you, and you're like, is this good? So when you're making stuff, is it like a straight line path? Like I start always with lyrics first, or do I have like a melody in my head, or
Um, Usually it comes and goes. I don't have a straight way to make a song. Sometimes if I'm playing on my guitar and I think a little riff, I'm like, ooh, keep that. And I go off the riff, or if I find a good chord progression, go off that. I think I save the lyrics to last because I like to write like simple lyrics, and so if I have a melody with the chords I'm playing, I just put that together and then write the lyrics.
okay. Um, so what do you do in terms of like writing melodies? So like, do you just noodle until you
For
find
that, like,
something, or
yeah, I just like whenever like say if it's chord progression, excuse me, I try finding like a little melody with that. If it's C, G, A minor, F, I try going off that.
okay, you just go off of that and then follow what your progression is going.
Yeah.
That's a good strategy. I've done that a couple of times, and those are like the melodies that I like the most, where it's like, oh, it's kind of
Yeah.
like taking you somewhere. um, so who, as an artist, who's influencing you? You went to a Junkie show. We know that much about you, but like, what else?
So basically, my biggest influence is of course Blink 182. Back in the day, back in like middle school when I guess like the phase was the thing for people. Um, I really wasn't into Blink 182. I was more of a Green Day person, and so ever since Green Day, I was like I wanted to play guitar, be like Green Day, be like Billy Joe Armstrong. And eventually high school came along, and I got more into Blink 182, started paying attention to them more. And ever since high school, Blink 182 has been my motivation to play music, to do shows, and all that. So basically, the big influence is Blink 182. So some of the smaller is, of course, like Junkie. I love the Beatles, Green Day, All Time Low. Basically, like pop punk mixed in with a little indie rock, garage rock. I love all kinds of music, but mostly those genres are the main ones that I like to do.
Trying to sit in the pop punk. It's really interesting listening to what your music sounds like. The first album gave me like a growlers surf rock kind of vibe, and I don't think I would have guessed Blink 182.
I think there's one song on there. It kind of sounds like a Blink song mixed in with garage rock. I don't remember what song it was, but I think it's "What Did You Do to Me." I don't remember.
Yeah,
but I could definitely hear the Blink influence on that one.
Yeah, I think the second album I ever bought was American Idiot, and I used to have like they're like a boombox, and I would have like Dookie and Nimrod and Shenanigans just on like a loop in there, and then for whatever reason I've like stopped listening to Green Day. I've gone to more like classic rock, like an old person now. But yeah, Blink-182 and Green Day were a big part of me growing up, and probably
that's cool.
Why I play guitar a lot and try to go for that grungy sound. So let's see. I got a bank of questions over here. That's why I'm looking to the right. So a lot of DIY artists tend to go with more lo-fi sound in production. So usually not out of necessity, but trying to like hide some insecurities. What about your production has been like? Not that you're lo-fi and you're putting out low quality sounds, but like, what have you run into as like this is like a production hang up that I have, or something that I need to like learn? What's been hard to learn on your way?
I feel like I guess producing is like the hardest thing, because of course I'm not the skilled person, if that's even a word, to like edit stuff like that. But I think it's difficult when it's just like mixing everything together, because you gotta find the perfect time to mix in the drums, make sure it's on beat, don't get off count, and I believe that's the hardest thing for me right now.
All right, I was just getting like the mix right.
Yeah.
I think what is a big shock to me is like every time I make a new song, that production is better than the last song. And it's kind of
sometimes I feel like that.
Yeah, and you're like learning it as an instrument as well, the production half of it, where you like you picked up your guitar and you had to learn that, and then like the production half is like you have to be very critical of like, is this right? Am I trying to hide my vocals because I don't like my vocals, or is it is that actually where I need to sit with the vocals and things like that? What has helped you? What are like production tricks that have helped you on your way?
I think I haven't really looked up like how-to videos how to do it. I just wing it. So if I'm like mixing around in the studio and like I hit something wrong and it sounds right, I'm like, all right, I gotta remember that, so I can probably add it to like a next song or a future project or something like that. I just doodle around.
Just doodle around until it sounds good, and then out it goes. That's pretty interesting. I'm the opposite kind of person. I have to like watch all the YouTube videos, and then I have option paralysis. Can't do too much. So in terms of like learning things, what have you, I guess, found that ends up on every track regardless? Like no matter what, you're like, I have to throw this on there.
Probably the voice effects for my vocals. Junkie, the band from here, they use a lot of like fuzz effects for his vocals, like in the early beginning, and I've always been a fan of that, and so I decided I think I have to do it for every song, because I just like the way it sounds, and it mixes in with like the grunge indie scene, and so that's how I want the music to sound. So I have to always add that, and so I want to try something new.
The signature of you, as long as you got the fuzz on you. Let's see. Okay, so your last project was predominantly around the subject of teenage romance. You touched on that, and then so the subject and the themes of hopeless romance, is that building off of it? Probably.
Yeah, it's just I would, like I said, I would say it's like a continuation of teenage romance, but at the same time, it's more of just something put together so someone could enjoy it.
Okay. So right now you're in the my music is out phase, I'm assuming. So are you working on something new, or are you taking a break, trying to promote?
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to be taking a break from I guess writing. I'm of course I'm still gonna be in GarageBand, just messing around with whatever. Of course, this whole COVID thing shut down shows in the venues. Um, I believe it was last summer, summer 2020. We had a whole tour planned out for Texas with the band called Mamarazzi, and so it was going to be all over Texas, and that shut down because of COVID. So can't really. I've gotten some show offers here, but I kind of don't want to take them because of the whole COVID situation.
Yeah.
So mostly right now, I'm just going to be promoting it. I probably won't release anything until probably the summer, maybe.
Taking a moment to try and figure yourself out. So I think you touched on something that's ubiquitous among artists right now is the COVID's kind of stopped live shows, and that's a good way to get your name out. What have you found to be like an effective way to like bypass that or try and like still get yourself to be heard by people?
I think it's just showing people music, like showing people the music. One way I do it is whenever I talk to someone new, I just like, hey, go check out my band. It's called Lemon Trees or whatever. I just keep promoting it no matter what. Even if I've already told the person, go check it out, I'll tell them again.
You just never stop.
Yeah, one night I was really bored, and I got on Omegle, and I was talking to people on there. I was like, dude, just do me a favor, check out this band. And that was it. With every person.
You just kept doing it.
That got me some listens, honestly. It got me some new followers on the Spotify app.
So just being out and present and always trying to engage people. Those are good tips because I think right now we're still probably 6 to 8 months away from things settling down a little bit.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Okay. So outside of music, what do you do? What's the downtime look like?
I'm 20 years old. I'm still here with my parents. I was supposed to move out, but then COVID happened. I love sports. I go to school. I'm in college right now. I'm going for film production. So I love making movies. I love videos, taking pictures. That's basically it. Like I said, I love sports, music, and all that.
Just immerse.
Sometimes I hang out with friends. Sometimes I'm by myself. Here.
Yeah. So art is a big aspect, visual and auditory. And then you're wearing a Packers shirt right now. How's the season been to you guys?
We just won yesterday, and we're one game from the Super Bowl. So.
Yeah. I haven't followed football too much this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, Aaron Rodgers is always present.
Hopefully he wins the MVP this year.
Do you guys know who you're playing yet? It's not late enough?
Right now I'm watching the game. It's Tampa Bay versus New Orleans. It's 13-13 at halftime.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, that's not gonna be. That'll be a fun championship game, regardless if he gets over there.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's see, we got a good question that I've seen. We're nearing the end here, but one that I want to ask is your family musical, or is it just you?
Like music wise, I guess my family loves music. Like who doesn't love music? But I believe, from what I know, I'm the only one in my family that wants to pursue music. Like no one else had the dream of, I guess, becoming a rock star and like playing music for people. I believe I'm the only one so far.
So then, have you taught yourself how to play, or?
I would say I'm self-taught, but I would be lying if I say I didn't watch guitar videos back in like middle school.
Yeah.
But I never went to like guitar teachers or anything.
Okay. Yeah. So your
tabs helped me out too, like the guitar tabs. That's what I learned from.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean that's pretty well self-taught. You've been able to like source your own materials. And then when did you start playing?
Around the end of 6th grade, so that was probably 2012, I believe. 2012.
Okay. And then did you start on guitar, or like how did that?
Yeah, I started on acoustic guitar. The first song I ever learned was "Good Riddance, Time of Your Life" by Unit.
Classic.
The basic G chord.
Yeah, that one's a good exercise over G. And then from there you were like, this is it, or like.
if I'm not mistaken, I was a really big Philip fans at the time. So I learned the song "Home," and I remember I wanted to like learn like the indie songs back in 2014. So like Philip
Yeah.
Phillips, Passenger, Front Porch Step, and all that. Whoever else was big at the time.
Okay, and you were doing all that by tab.
Yeah.
Okay,
Tabs.
cool. Okay, so then listening to that, you have a lot of kind of artists that you were learning from by tab, and then a lot of the times I play guitar, so a lot of times like the recommendation of like when you want to start writing is try and listen to what you've learned how to play, or like learn solos.
Yeah. If
So
I'm not mistaken, I remember the first time I tried writing a song, it was like the same chords from Good Riddance and the same way how you play it.
yeah,
If I'm not mistaken, that's how I did it. Because like I think that was the only thing I knew back then.
that's hilarious. Yeah, this sounds great. So that's interesting. So now, what's your process now that you're a little bit more developed? I guess as your songs, you write songs, you get a little bit better. Now is it you sit down and you're like, I want to use this progression, or do you just strum and then go from there?
So, like I said, sometimes it's just a little bit of both. Sometimes if I find a riff, I'll go off that. Chord progression, I'll go off that. Sometimes if I think like if I say something really, really motivational or something like a line, I'll be like, I'm gonna use that as a theme for the song, and then find a melody to find on the guitar with it.
Because right in the notepad. Yeah, can't forget that. All right. Well, we're almost all done. Is there anything you want to say to us? Thank you for coming out as well.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah.
I do appreciate
it. But let's see. You released an album January 15th, so that was Friday. Very exciting. That one is called Hopeless Romance.
Yes, sir.
So that one's out on Spotify, and then
it's on all platforms.
All platforms. So you got Deezer, iTunes, Amazon. Sweet. And then hopefully we'll see more stuff come out near summertime or whenever it does come
hopefully.
out. Yeah. We'll keep in touch. Thank you very much for agreeing to show up.
Thank you for having me.
And then enjoy your football game, and then hopefully next weekend is a good one as well. All right. Well, thank you. I'm gonna let you go, and have a good one.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem.